Right, Fambulem, a warm good evening to everybody and a warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another serious edition of the Then and Now program. And I am your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kuma, the Kanto owner today, the 19th of May, 2019. You see, Fambulem, it's important that we understand issues of national concern. And when issues of national concern take place, we are duty bound. Yes, Sister Kadiatu, hello and welcome. Please, let's share the video. Let's invite friends and families so that we all can, put ideas together and find a way forward. Okay? So once again, welcome, and Sister KJ, hello to everybody in the forum. And now call-in program, if you want call in, please feel free for do so. I will put the number up soon, but in the meantime, it's 0774010750. Silence, na complicity. For talk, na a duty, a constitutional duty. Yeah, Hamed Tijanba, hello, watching from all the way Virginia, USA. Welcome to the program, my brother. Okay? Welcome to the program. So like I was saying, I want to use the opportunity for welcome everybody because it's very important what we're about for talk. And when we talk, it's nothing really personal other than concern as citizens of the Republic for talk on issues which are burning, which are righteous. Certainly things that we need for talk about. And that's what we are doing here tonight. Okay? I want to begin with the Constitution of the Republic, okay? And I want to talk about two sides quickly. This is not just quick reference to the Constitution, because things the way we talk get a legal basis, not to just rubbish talk. Because most talks, it's like talk we not get basis, everyday talk, gossip, small talk. And as we grow up and mature, we need to engage in a mature way and get mature conversation. So we know that the thing that binds us together, now the Constitution of the Republic, now in give we all legal rights. Now it make us say, I want to talk about not in its entirety, of course, now big document, but now just two sides them now I want stress before I begin for flow. Because it's important. I want to talk about 3 or 4 issues tonight. Very important. The Constitution, now chapter 2, section 5, it talk about the country, that is the Republic of Sierra Leone, will be a state or is a state which is based, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this keenly. It is a republic which is based on the principles of human rights, justice, freedom, and democracy. I repeat, the Republic of Sierra Leone shall be a state which is based on the principles of freedom, justice, and democracy. Now, I want to contemplate on that statement there small and let the statement sink. So I take a brief pause and a pause for a good cause. Ladies and gentlemen, inside that Constitution there, and this is also key, sovereignty, where the Constitution talk about another particular section they will just read, belongs to the people of the country. I repeat, sovereignty belongs to the people of the country. And now from that sovereignty, they will belong to the people of the country. Now the Constitution, they take all in power from. Okay? The sovereignty will belong to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is critical, and I want for everyone to see them in the context where the Constitution try for explain them. We don't need for be lawyer. Of course, it's a document where a legal document. So legal document means say it needs specialists them. When a lawyer them we go able for interpret them. But this other there are interpretations within the Constitution as expected by every citizen for understand them. You know, especially the basic. So the sovereignty which belongs to the people of the country, now the government they derive in power from. So from the people that it governs, it derive all the power we get, all the authority we get, all the legitimacy. Now, Fambulen, what does this mean? It simply means say that minus the people, there is no government. If you cannot find the people to govern, then you know the function. Okay? It's a value of your function. Now you in, now you people them. Because now they derive all your power them from. Ladies and gentlemen, it's critical for us cite this particular side of the Constitution because there is a lot going on. The government get fundamental obligation the way it owe in people them. Now in business for look after in people them, provide incentive, provide jobs, provide social objectives, educational objectives, not to favor, now right. Okay, it's a matter of right. The citizens themselves then get a duty, you know, where now some sort of a contractual duty vis-a-vis government, the people. So you observe the protocols, you respect the law, you're law-abiding citizen, you get along, respect the Constitution of the Republic. The government in turn gets an obligation for make provision and for you. Another side to I want to cite again on this Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, before we make the first move and talk about the first critical subject is Chapter 3 of the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. It talks about the recognition and protection of the fundamental human rights and freedoms of the individuals. This is heavy and this is powerful, my people. The recognition and protection of the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual. This is now the Constitution, Chapter 3. It then go on for, you know, yeah, section by section, talk about within the fundamental human rights and freedom of the individual mean. Then you talk about the protection to right. When I listen to this keenly, and with people them when I need for understanding our Constitution, if you don't have a copy, try and get a copy. Empower yourself today or tomorrow because it's late now by getting a copy. And this they go directly to the people that are most affected who are based on the ground. Know your constitutional rights. Get a copy of the Constitution and make sure say you read them. If you don't understand them, take them to somebody who understand them. Let it interpret them to you so you go understand your right. So you go understand the do's and don'ts. There's an obligation on the part of government by virtue of the Constitution, not a privilege, but a right. You see, the word right is so key inside the subject matter that it has to be understood within that context. Protection of rights, protection from just arrests, arbitrary arrest, protection, you know, yeah, from restricting your freedom of movement, forced labor, any inhuman treatment. We can go down for break, all waiting them particular talk there mean again, okay? And waiting them mean inhuman treatment, forced labor. Government cannot force you for you to work. You know, say an obligation on your part that you need for work, you know, you forget an income. So these are the contractual agreements. But in the meantime, government not go just fire you from job where you not do nothing, where government can't point a finger. There is a cliche going around, you know, yeah, we don't they go on. It's not from this government. It didn't started from this government. It goes all the way back. But I always say that two wrongs is not equal to right. And this is just a fact. And that cliche, now waiting, the people serve at the pleasure of the president. And now one of the most misinterpreted saying. So whilst it correct, now the interpretation, now it mostly can get problem because that means you can just fire people left, right, and center. And then you say, because they serve at the pleasure of the president. So they need for go, which is the argument as at this time. And it can't be right because now make us go back to the Constitution, that under the Constitution, there is a right of the people, that the government has to make provision for its people. You can't sack the people and deny them, a means of livelihood. It's against their constitutional rights. And so far and so forth. But we don't do with that part of the Constitution, and this is why I want to, begin with the first subject today, and this is about the former president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, when you deal with an issue there, of course, they are highly divisive. You have to get the guts. You have to get the temerity. You get the understanding, in-depth knowledge, okay? Provide the insight into what you talk about and let people then weigh in. I'll put the number up, okay? So that we go join. If you want to contribute, you contribute, okay? The number is, so while I try for type them, the point here, where are the try for me? I want to understand the Constitution. We now move on to the first part when the former president, Ernest Bai Koroma, we don't become some sort of a problem, Ernest Koroma, the former president of the Republic, has somehow become a problem. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it real, okay? Let's keep it real. And this is the point. If I were the president, let me be hypothetical a little bit, okay? If I were the president of the Republic, and I get somebody when I've been the former president, popular as he is, because that's a matter of fact, okay? Everybody entitled to their opinion, but what I know is you're not entitled to your set of facts. You need to bring evidence on the table, and the evidence points to former president being popular. But being popular and for carry yourself as a statesman, okay, you need for take the back seat. So the question here is it time for Ernest for take the back seat? Because if you have become a problem, then a basic training, if you have become a problem, then you need for excuse, so somebody else step in the picture. And between the two, the former president and the president, Ernest Koroma in action them, they sort of overshadow the current president. Now that can be annoying. Like I say, hypothetical. If I were the president, I wouldn't like that. That means not the current president, but anytime the ex-president come on, do people and they fly all over him, and it's like we know the slogan the way they talk. Oh, Mr. President, now you we want, and the rest of it. Some of them I cannot repeat. But imagine if you were in the State House then, they read anything and that na subversion, that na undermining. Because if it don't happen once, it don't happen twice and 3 times and ongoing, you really need for back off, okay? And especially when you've been won, because all I need they help for raise the stakes back, they help for raise tension. And if not be you, just juxtapose the position for a second. If now you've been in a power and somebody, they do that to you, evidence also points say you not for being taken because you are on record for the pronouncement the way you make if people and challenge you by your authority when you were the president. So let's be real and let's keep it real and let's say as it is. That's why we say now this channel, fake news not get no foot. Real news is here. Not everybody is going to like it, of course. Opinion will split. But take a break. Take a step back and let reason prevail. Now, having said this about the former president, let's move on to the recent happenings, okay? The reason back what I point out to all of this, because if you try to develop your argument and engage your audience, then you therefore provide an insight so people then follow the direction who's with the head, and this is it. It's no story or hidden story that the former president in security detail come under scrutiny and then try to change the security detail recently, much to the dislike of the president. Now, let's say 1 or 2 things quickly. The president, not to favor and they do them again. another thing, the reason why I started the show with the Constitution. It's not a favor for provide a security detail for the president. It's a right that every president is going to enjoy that benefit after they leave power. It's in black and white, and it's a legal document. And it spells out exactly whose benefits that person they go get. So anything above, below, then you don't violate that person in right, as provided by law. So recently, it don't become a talking point that the president, you know, there are many, many different varying shades of interpretation, but let's set the record right, okay? Waiting the president called for is he should have been treated with respect, okay? He should have been treated with respect in terms of the changing of insecurity detail. And not just outright go say, I don't want the security detail where you give me. And if the president expressed concern, he is within his right. Now, security matters, now they talk about, yes, the state get responsibility, but in consultation with the ex-president, because he is the one being manned. He is the one being guarded. He gets a say inside, he gets a stake inside. It's just as simple as that, and people and they go and twist them and turn them. So the process itself, where they engage, where they use for go even change the security guard them, then disarm some, and then change some. I think 16 or 11 when they disarm. The record is there. Do you know, say they carry a whole police truck of a policeman them armed just for go do the changing? Now look at the prevailing circumstances. Now if you look at the entry where we make in the sort of introductory to the program, we talk about an apparent disconnect between the governors and the governed. And at the same time, bread and butter issue is a direct nexus of the problem. If we go agree, say that there is a problem, and there is a problem. We may not know exactly what the problem is, but there is. So hence, we talk about the disconnect, and then we come back for title the broadcast, New Direction or Redirection. Because let's be honest, if you engage in a direction, a new direction, which meant a direction away from the old, which is a good thing by itself, but this new direction not happen for the work, then of course that course of direction they have to change. But I will come to that. Let's go back to the ex-president, and in unhappiness where he expressed as to the fact say then change in security detail without consulting them. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be realistic. Let's be fair. Owing to the current situation, you go even, you set a premise or create a premise on the basis of na influence the changing, okay, of the security detail. But even if not to influence them, where I say influence them, I mean the situation influence them, because with the Yeridi story, and I just mentioned and just know, the ex-president, they up and down, out and about, where as a citizen of the republic and an ex-president, they can do that. But whilst they do them, it disrupt, the normal flow. Because, for example, if you go back on side, but because of impopularity, people are not flock cantor. It become a public nuisance issue. Traffic will be blocked, for example. And then the risk again, you to in your own safety and the bodyguard them. You don't know that they come inside it for can harm them. If you understand what I mean. So there is a purpose, there is a reason. We don't hear all of this. Then suddenly, then go change in security detail. And the thing where the president say, and not say, I don't want what you want to give me, because he know that. He fully understands that. He was once the president of the republic. He say, but una not treat me with respect. If they move me bodyguard, and some of them, I don't come, here for know them, I trust them, because it's an issue of trust as well. It not means the government not get right for rotate the security detail when and if they see necessary, but it is in consultation with the former president. It's just a civil, matter between the government and him. Simple. Or the police director. Okay, or the minister way responsible for the police, I think internal affairs. It should have been a civil process. But for kill a truck load of armed police, for go change president in security, they create more tension. And then with the grumble about investors and the rest of it, all tell you they create scene. It's like say you they shoot yourself in the foot. So it's like say some people do not understand this, while at the same time, some people understand them, but they don't make them a talking point where then they always try for equate two evil. And two evil doesn't make right. So unless we do now the talk down again to Sam Sumana. So therefore, the law of Kamana in it take place. When they talk about legal issues, when they rise up above this pettiness, where we see almost in everyday Sierra Leonean community, if we do have one. We will rise above this pettiness and this immaturity. Stop keeping grudges. Stop harboring hatred. Come and talk. If you get issues, this is a platform where they global, where they worldwide. Bring Ankara at the table. Pick up the phone. 07740107250 is the number. And express yourself. You want a debate? Bring it on. But all the time you're moaning in the corner. You don't have even the guts and the audacity, you know, here for talking to public, even though now you right, your constitutional right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, the president simply asked for civility, that he should have been consulted. And remember, this man, I don't already talk him, he need for take the background. He really need for take the background for his own self-respect and the rest of it. So he can pull the levers now the back. I mean, something that you don't need for lead from the top. Let it trickle down. You can lead from the bottom, you can lead from the back, and it can trickle go upwards. The need for get a new, phases. You don't become the problem, and it's divisive. Smart, are there not smart people within the other side of the party? And no one is saying that you should go away, but you can be in the background and pull the levers, shuffle without anybody knowing you. Be the shadow boxer, be the shadow beyond the power or beyond the pulling of the strings. Well, it will apparently look like, say, you lack the chaos, you lack the limelight, and you just refuse for fade away. Mr. Ex-President, you have to let reason prevail, sir. You might not have long again, but you get a duty for due to your party. While you look popular, and I believe, say, you are, you really need for take the back seat. You really need for begin for model other people then. Pass on your knowledge and the rest of it. That's how it works, sir. You lost an election. You lost an election. That day alone don't say, you for don't excuse the scene. I know the last time they get some debate, about the issues around statesman, waiting constitutes a statesman. This obviously now one thing will constitute a statesman, the way you carry yourself with dignity and pride, and you lift your head and walk high by virtue of your action, your moral. And I'm speaking directly to the ex-president with respect, not to the way out and treat him more than they treat him. If you want for changing in security detail, you need for consult with him. That's the way it works in a civilized world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the second part of this debate, because we really want to end this debate, this all-important broadcast in about an hour's time, because tomorrow, now Monday, and people ain't get for go work in school. I want to weigh in on the First Lady of the Republic, Her Excellency, Mrs. Fatima Bio. You see, where we say there is an apparent disconnect between the governors and the governed, all of these things then come into play. They are making the cylinders of state not firing properly because there is a disconnect. And for fender connect, dot the I's and cross the T's. Something needs to happen. And that's something we need for happen. We go come to when at the last part of this program, and we then they aspire for do. But there is work to be done in the first place before you then move on to that particular thing there. So this one of the other disconnect is the First Lady of the Republic, Her Excellency Fatima Bio. With all good intention of purpose, I suppose, There have been series of blunders from that office where the First Lady occupy. And I begin with the most recent, where again don't become a talking point, and it don't turn like a comedy. It don't become comedy. And then the issue of swear. Come on, goodness sake. This is the First Lady of the Republic. Not to granat from that woman they don't know. Now country, now they partake by virtue of a man being the head of state. So instead they help the man for make things then go before. You na the mama of the nation. This family na the first family. For 7,500,000 people, if not more. Now una na the number one, the first family. You don't expect everybody inside that family day for be accurate, for be exceptional, for be good, for be excellent. So there are categories inside that family day. Some go halaki, if you like. Some go, swear. And many other things. Sick. But not to you when are the mama for the nation, the mama of the nation, wait for the pray for the well-being of the nation. They actually swear people, let bad luck follow them, let them perish. Instead of you pray for them, for convert them and win them over, so that we all go come together as one big family and try for take the country and go forward. See how divisive that statement is? Although at the Yeri, we don't let them say at this station, although at the Yeri is different, because sometimes Her Excellency, the First Lady, will have been speaking in tongues. What do I mean by that? Say within the party itself, there are many rancors, there are many fractures within the ruling party itself. You don't need for the inside for know that, because first of all, we know that one strain from the party we call power, now then they power. That's why you need to see all the other heavyweights to this glorious party called SLPP. You don't see them. And we can go on and call names. Heavyweights. They hear them. They see them. They're not part of the government. Maybe then they be in. Or maybe because the party been so fractured before the elections, so then they try for main fences which are supposed. But where bad blood don't draw, it can really, really bad off something that for make them, it can act. It's all like way una make plaba. You burn bridges. For broke the bridge, don't go to inna the thing. Now for make them. Now inna the thing. So it's simple for let you broke and down. One day you can cause so much damage, but for repair that damage day, it can take you months, years, depending on the gravity of the situation. So there is no way the First Lady should be swearing her own people. It's just not decent. This is the office of the First Lady. This is the first woman of the country speaking to her people, her audience, on a critical subject matter, and a critical time as well. Will not be one mentioned when a Ramadan time, where the Muslim faith are observing, and then you do that. But this is not my calling. I'm just weighing in. So you, the people, will adjudicate on this particular matter in terms of, the court of public opinion. But this is it. You are the first family. You are the mother of the nation. A nation of 7.5 million plus. You don't expect everybody to be perfect. And if you know that everybody is not perfect, I believe it's your sacred duty, Madam First Lady, to speak to those people, to try and find a cure if they're not well. And if they are veering off track, to try to bring them in, because that's what you want. That's what you want, something called unity, which is another critical word that is used over and over in the Constitution. And I believe even in the SLPP party, that's a critical word in terms of the party's motto. Somewhere it's there, because unity is a critical and heavy word. And it also says, one people, one country. Imagine that. So the dichotomy can be false enough. One people, one country, but then you're swearing one set of people, and it's supposed to be one people, one country. Now think about these people. Just think about them. So I'll leave this with you. You want to make a contribution? The number is 077 4010 7250 is the word. Okay? I mean, it's the number for you to call if you want to make a contribution. If you want to weigh in, I mean, 1 minute, 2 minutes, the lines are open. And this is a point for us to speak. I mean, you're not under obligation to do so. I know you're listening. But sometimes they are not going to have monologue. Okay? I'm not going to have monologue. Thanks, Mr. Conte, for contributing to the chat room. We can keep the chat room engaged as well. We don't necessarily have to do the phone if you don't want to use the phone, because not everybody is more comfortable with the phone, and not everybody wants to be seen or known or heard. Okay? But here, we expect a diversity of ideas. The then and now is a melting pot of ideas. It's a fusion of people left, right, and center, unlike the First Lady, who is pushing people away instead of bringing them, who is supposed to cover the entire nation by virtue of her position as First Lady and husband to the President of the Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, I move on to the third phase of this program, which I believe is the final phase. Okay? The issue of peace process, and I want to touch on Bintumani 3. That's the direction that I'm going. The issue of peace process, every now and then, is becoming increasingly complex. Yeah, I think that's the word. Yeah. The issue of peacekeeping, every now and then, it become complex. And especially the reason why it become complex, now because conflict then can be protracted over a period of time. And protraction means it go and develop in different shades and forms. It take different form them. It's like the disconnect now the country. Not to one thing. Okay, I think we'll go our first caller. Hello, caller. Will you state your name and where you're calling from, please? Hello, caller. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, caller, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, the voice is familiar, and I think I know this voice, but for the benefit of the listening public, will you state your name, sir, and where you're calling from?
Yeah, good evening, listeners. Good afternoon, good morning, listeners, depending where you're calling from. This time, our usual friend, forumite brother. This nobody but Mr. Victor Spain, yes. So decide for call this date because this is a very, 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 very important topic. Topic we really hit the nation hard. We get people debating. Now you don't make your opinion clear, which is very good. I been for prefer if you been just let the question open. If you not been show, make your opinion clear. But having said that, me I go tend for play the devil's advocate. So what I go do, I go answer your question in two forms. The first form, I go use the supporters of Pauper, the SLPP supporters, for answer your question. Then the second part, I go use the Cholombo supporters, the APC supporters, for also answer your question. Now, for me, I always them. Yes, you want to say something?
No, but you just want to say go ahead. No, you're fine. Go on, please.
Yeah. You hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, sir. And I hope say the audience they hear you loud and clear as well.
Okay.
Maybe they hear you. Yeah.
Now you say the First Lady swear. First, let me make one thing clear. I think I'm talking today now with forum. Swearing not a new phenomenon in our country. Let's give you one good example first. Governor Clapton used that long-term people are moving fight against slavery now. For people that we don't know Governor Clapton, we've been the left commander of the country. He left a swear. He swear people that will get bad intention for the country. He say, may God punish them, not only them, the people in back where they against them. So who don't them people that will Governor Clapton swear?
Okay.
You want for help me?
Yes, of course. I will look for. Yeah, it sounds like a rhetorical question, but since you put on the floor, I get a different take on. That. So, yes. Would they assume saying as Sierra Leoneans there even swear? But Mr. Spain and to the rest of the audience, that was a different context. Governor Clarkson wasn't a moral. He wasn't a moral man. He wasn't a moral authority. He was a governor of a colony. Okay, so he wasn't a moral man. So the swear been come up from that line there. I know say we don't try for the user many times. Myself don't hear but I not take that swear for me. He wasn't moral, he not being any moral compass for put swear them per people because he was the governor of a colony, yeah. Man.
Okay. Yeah, so make a pick up from that. You're right, Governor Clarkson. He was a governor for a colony we now Sierra Leone today, right?
Yeah.
That's where they know all water. But this way we still in reference up to this point today. Now, who don't know these people like Governor Clarkson this way? Even this way corrupt people that we hate the country, we want no country go backward.
Yeah, so Mr. Victor, Mr. Victor?
Yes.
Just a quick one. Sorry, I screening you line of flow, but it's just a quick one, and I give back the floor. Yes, okay. Are you not say rather that the people that will be swear, now people that will be fought against, and I make her tell you say now a different context. There were people who were vehemently opposed to Sierra Leone being a colony and being fought against that. How we know say no they be swear because Salone now been bread basket as well for Britain then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you what you try to say maybe Britain be the swear for.
No. Yes.
Okay, but now come back. That would have been just an example. Now come back.
Okay, hold the line for me 1 minute, please. I get a caller. I just want to put them on hold there. I will come back to you.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. Will you state your name and where you're calling from, please?
Hello, my name is Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Emmanuel.
Yeah. Basically, to start with, you do a very good program where we will really appreciate as Sierra Leoneans.
Yeah, thank you.
We could get a forum most people they come and sit down and talk about what's the better salon.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
I will put you on hold quickly. I've got another caller. As soon as I do away with that caller, no one for let you go away. Stay on the line because I believe you get a very good contribution from Mick. But I'll just go back to that caller there quickly, and I go to swap between you and the caller if you don't mind. Okay? I just want to go back to her quickly, be there in a train of thought. And then I'll come back to you. Please don't go away. Stay there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another caller. Of course, the name appear on the forum, but compatible with what you say. But you get for take for that. Mr. Spain.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please flow.
Yeah. First of all, I think I feel missed out. Can you quickly explain to me what that caller been saying because you put me on hold? So
no. He introduced himself. He introduced himself, and then he go on for say, for praise the channel. We establish a good channel so we can come and talk. But then before he go on to what he want to say, I not just want to keep you in the waiting. So I want to give you a chance let you flow small because it's still online, but at the interchange between our two. So please go on and make your point.
Okay. Now, let's take the Agnes first. Let's answer for Tolombo there.
Yeah.
So, for the Tolombo critics, the opposition, this is now very bad thing, the Mamedu, so just like we say.
Of course.
It's the mother of the nation. How could she be so openly biased? How could she represent certain fraction of the population? So this not been sending good waves to Tolombo there. Now, so they will answer this kind of question. Was she a first lady right? No, she was not. That's what they will say. They will say she represents us.
Yeah.
Like that they will promise they will rule for we.
Yeah.
So regardless of what we don't do or what we represent, now my man, if you breastfeed we all.
Yeah.
So now that's now the critics their own response around it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the people the way they support the mommy, the paupers, then we say, well, no, first of all, no start. Now, who died in this mommy with the swear? Who's can swear this mommy swear? He say anybody where they against the country, we know what the country go before. Now, we don't have them people here.
Yeah.
People that want to wreck the country today, the country did behind because of them people are with them, I mean, they swear. Corruption, now make the country did behind so. And
So now in which context? Yeah. Now in which context the press? I mean, the first lady been this way because you make a good case, or you make like say if they speak come from an abstract sense where now it just this way people way no one let the country go before the past,
exactly.
the past and the now.
Present.
Yeah.
So now it depends how you observe that sweating. It hurts you, you feel guilty of your past. So without making they get different opinion. Let me give you one person in opinion way brilliant. Emerson.
Okay.
He said he supports the mommy for swear. Because we country there how it is so because of bad people that were there against the country. People that were they loot the country resources.
Okay, Victor, I go pause you there. Stay on the line. Let's just go to Mr. Emmanuel quickly. Let's get your own take. Yes, Mr. Emmanuel.
Okay.
You did live, sir.
Okay, I just want to make a very quick contribution.
Sure, go far away, please.
First of all, the topic we come up with is a very good topic.
Yeah.
We Australians, we don't suffer for too long. This is not about time. For let we Australians, the more could change our attitude from our own attitude.
Sure.
There's so much of hypocrisy really happen in the Salon community. We all is up, sing the national anthem, read the national pledge, and lie to ourselves. We should lie to the country. In a sense, me and you, the good of that country, we see how we politicians in the thief with country money. And the same politicians where they come on the salon, they turn in England here, we all they hail them. Well done, you do a very good job. But a politician when they can buy Range Rover, he take a son and go salon. Where me and you, we get with granny them, mama them, in a village, they suffer.
Yep.
Only because of few greedy people them come together for me to destroy that country. Listen, I say one thing to you. Fatima Bio is not to Baswell. It go for everybody. The past government and the present government. And anybody we take sides about Fatima Bio is swear. That person don't mean good for that country. That person, the enemy to the civilian community. Now, enemy to Mama Saloon. In the sense, and not go point and say, now this person will swear. No, they say anybody will not mean good thing for Saloon. May God remove her. And all the things that echo that's ready, may God remove them. Because they're the kind of people that are, oh, now we see what they see. Not a story. This they get for stop. If you see your brother they do the wrong thing, instead of pretending and say it's wrong. If one minister they go buy a motor car, one at 50,000 pounds. You know how many families will make you feed? Because me and you well to do. You understand? Me and you they well to do. We just no, never made enjoy themselves at their own time. You understand? So you will say when you slow the talks at their own time, me and you will commit sin against that country. We will not love that country. So we learn that a very nice, beautiful country. Food-wise, with food, it cuts across everybody that the world eats with food, they find with time. We music, all my dance track. But because we get by that to the point say we don't want to individual. I want you to happen so at national level now. That's something when I individual business too. I don't like you, please so they do the program. You don't like me because I sell Congo. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You don't let me because I sell Congo. You understand? So because of that hatred, that's why we don't develop between ourselves. You understand?
Yeah.
They don't go to national level. Now we don't go to national level, we don't go another look at the country now in better one. Because of I hate you, you come up from this tribe, you hate me, I come up from this tribe. You understand?
Yeah.
You don't take an individual personal hatredness, don't go to national level.
Okay.
It's a patriotism.
Okay. Stay. You make a brilliant point, sir. And I know say you get few more contribution, and I really want to hear again, the second part. So just stay right there. Let me hear Mr. Spain in quick take again. Then I will come back to you one last time, please. Thanks.
Okay. That's fine.
Yes, Mr. Spain.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know whether you privy to the conversation you watch, but.
Now one phone, I'm a phone at the watch, and so I'll not be able for.
Okay. Well, again, it sounds like say you and the brother were there on the line. Una all today on side. Yeah.
Okay.
Una share the same sentiment. So go ahead, please.
Okay. So where I've been stopped now on the pauper side.
Yeah.
I've been the name exactly the group of people them we maybe they swear.
Yeah.
So we go be pauper the argument.
Yeah.
And we say, well, the maybe they swear people we don't rep the country.
Yeah.
So how una in critics and go come and say a bad thing?
Right.
We just say we don't want less salon better with a salon man.
So I shall say you don't listen to the first lady in tape, and I shall say you don't listen to her over and over, and of course that you don't draw the analysis on her. So viewer, so view wise you go get for respect the view.
Yeah, so in your opinion, right now you want now. Listen, I'm your stance on this.
Yeah.
You want now?
Yes.
Right. Okay, well, what is salon better with a salon man? Strong conservative.
So I shall say you don't listen to the first lady in tape, and I shall say you don't listen to her over and over, and of course that you don't draw the analysis on her. So viewer, so view wise you will get for respect the view.
Yeah, so in your opinion, right now you want now. Listen, I'm your stance on this.
Yeah.
You want now?
Yes.
Okay. As Pau, they say the mommy is where people who don't wreck the country. And clearly the evidence is the country wrecked. So the mommy not been wrong. So I would say, nobody win on this case. People already condemn the right. The one who oppose also, the one who support also right.
Yes, Mr. Spain. I think say you make a major contribution, and I'm really happy for the contribution where you make. You always sound like the adults in the room. Of course, then issues there they can always divide opinion right in the middle. You get those for and those against. It depends on the intention. Intention now critical na waiting at the intention behind those way they condemn the first lady in swear. Although I weigh in heavily there with me opinion because I can write opinion pieces, which is as the mother of the nation. I been feel say it go cover all man. Instead, pray for people them let their soul be be free. Let them let God cover them, let God give them understanding, reach wisdom and things like that, other than for put the sweat down. But thanks for that contribution there. Maybe you might come back when I go to Bintumani. Let's go to the other caller for now. So thank you very much, yeah. And Mr. Kaijamba, Benjamin Ia Kaibanja, welcome to the program. The number for call now 077 4010 7250. Mr. Kaibanja, I know say you want to contribute. The number way for call now 077 4010 7250. Emmanuel, you are on the line again, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
The other thing I want to look at.
Yeah.
We all don't go through the rebel war in the salon for 11 years.
Yeah.
We don't go through Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Yeah.
We don't have people don't give evidence.
Yeah.
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 We don't forgive. We don't ever forget.
Yeah.
This division where they can't in salon.
Yeah.
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 On party line, on tribal line, you know the bomb group came for that country.
Yeah. Exactly.
What we need for start for do? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you panic for you, when I limba na susuna jalunka, it says something tribalistic against the next party.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you for be each other's keeper. You make a fellow man say, Papa God, listen, me no want listen to that kind of talk like that. And if you come to tribal line, you understand? I'm not interested.
Okay.
If you don't change the attitude and start for love one another, listen, this thing is going to continue from now. Take a go.
Yes.
You camp, you do what you make it do. And let's come back and you get a very good program. That attitude has changed.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the very good projects we carried. But it allowed itself for make people that camp within us and destroy the vision we get for the country.
That's true.
Yeah. Now they don't go down the line. Malabioka say one new direction. It's almost the same policy kind of thing with attitudinal change and new direction. Why people want Sierra Leoneans will not go come out and feel so proud for what could tell Chief Man say unity. Oh, we bongo we small way the rock play by you.
All right.
You understand?
All right.
No, I can't. Because I go off another for continue this conversation again. Yeah. When you small, when you see the rock play by you, all man knows you don't think that it's on, isn't it?
Yes, sure.
When you think that primary school, secondary school, now why is it the way? All man knows you that Chief Man. So why if we allow maybe politicians in the thief, then people in the hide it. When you see, you're not smart, will show you. Some of the politicians, some of them are Congo will sell. You understand? But when you thief, the whole world for no say, you're not smart. It's matter make law. It's even so sweet about them. And they make a law and they pass it to everybody.
Okay, Emmanuel, you've made sorry, just because calls then they come and we almost approach the 1 hour mark, but I want to tell you real thing, and I just want you make a couple of many brilliant points, but I just want to say thanks for summing up the courage and picking up the phone and make the call, because this is what the program is about. And the fact that you find the courage for call and make this powerful contribution, and I call them powerful because your message is one of unity. You see, you were talking about unity. That the same thing I would say we need for be able to get up and stand up and offer an opinion on them people. If you see them the thief, not so because now you thief man, so therefore you they fall around. You for condemn them because the country money now the thief. That money they go able for bless people them in terms of hospital, road, light, and the rest of it. So yes, I do agree with that, and thank you so much for your contribution today. And please call again.
Just to add up one, you did do a very good job.
Thank you.
Keep it up. May God bless you, because you know they're paying for this. Nobody get for paying for this, but at least it make we snap and talk. We mind putting the money. Yeah.
Sure.
Keep it up. May God bless you. May God continue for make it pour in more financial blessing. So you make it continue for make this salon people there. We share with ideas there. Genuine ideas there.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing malicious, nothing whatever. All what we share is about protecting how can Sierra Leone develop. God bless you. I love you, sir.
Thank you very much. That was a brother and friend there, of course. And I'm happy that he called and we making contribution, and a very powerful contribution, and we end on a very good and high note. But in contribution indeed be very powerful. Now I kind see very important. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are preaching here. When they talk about peace, you may not understand the language, but the language is one of peace. So as long as we left this partisanship, it's not bad for be a partisan, you know. Okay, we got another caller on the line. Hello, caller. Will you state your name and where you're calling from, please? Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, caller. Will you state your name and where you're calling from, please? You're live to the world.
My name is Benjamin Kaiwanja, and the question is that I don't want. We are still in a political problem, right? No more, because ever since we have many people describe the movement describe. Now only recently politics, people want the politics of the party for bringing around.
Mr. Ben, if you go raise your voice up a little bit, you're kind of low. I hear you, but for the benefit of the audience.
You have one side of the tribe, and you go back, there's the marriages, and before this 2012 election, now only we just participate in our vision of this, but this party will describe very hard for which the other person in territory. Everything in 2007 to 2012, they worked very hard for their political issues. They have some political issues, and therefore the same you want to talk about government, we talk about government, same kind of power. If I talk about them, that is a vision of them. If I talk about ambassadors, then a great effort for me to reach that let it not be one region no more to say when the people you can about and only put them on the north and maintain the south. But if we go back to the history, but in 2012, after the mother crowd, I don't have to run for office again. So it is the party campaign against themselves. We're going to adopt them, the business themselves. When the poll was not completed to one 38% the back, this was the political decision when they take they want net in consider the vote so whether the APC is very easy because if you notice that every time we want to consider the surrender to the vote and get out, let's see the banner. But it was the party campaign when they brought against the position of them. And even though the objective was not considered as one of the APC party, knowing most people can be very few. Then here they are not the decision and just everything is that. So if you find out now that where any decision comes in, why they put up the question? This is the question. And it's supposed to be you. I am a very particular. You know, I'm possible, very, very particular. Executive on everything. But we come to do better. But the question is that if you don't do wrong at society, forgiveness fines and so now I'm more the same sample of vicious sample to go around. But the vicious sample for all them is continue to go around. One person is you don't do wrong. I think I'm not for just about stories. I think I'm better than you and you forget to forgive me. It doesn't work so. And punishment is both forgiveness. The two things go together, punishment and forgiveness. But you are young, all of you now, all everywhere, you are still talking about forgiveness. You don't want to start people with forgiveness, but not talking about punishment. And even government living alive, when that man is in that answer, you forgive them for the punishment. But we are using now, there's no other power, no the same sample, but no about punishment.
Okay, Mr. Kaibanja. Okay, Mr. Kai.
But if I don't forgive you, you cannot table it. There's more probability to the same impact. So that is the problem.
Okay, Mr. Kaibanja. Thank you very much for that powerful contribution. And of course, Mr. Kaibanja is a first-time caller to the program, and we hope say you will come again, please. Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, that was another caller, a first-time caller to the forum, then and now. And we want to say thank you to Mr. Kaibanja for summing up the courage, here for call the channel. So we've been want to talk about Bintumani 3. But before Bintumani 3, there was Bintumani 1. After Bintumani 1, there was Bintumani 2. And all of them Bintumanis there, the theme now about peace. One, we know say Nabi Strasser, now under former military junta leader, Valentine Strasser, captain. Where we understand say, been very popular. We get the benefit of hindsight, so we can say that, and it be about for full uniform for become a civilian president. The current president then, when I be in number 2, Sise, and he used this particular terminology, I'm not going to forget, he call it inimical. If anything inimical, if the man want to do anything inimical, with them he don't get an agreement, he want broke he not will stand for that. So on that basis, he led a palace coup and overthrew his friend and boss, Captain Strasser, and he became the head of state for 3 months. So during that period, remember say war been effect na the countryside, been ravaged the countryside, so they organized Bintumani 2. Bintumani 2, from your understanding, was about peace before election because this argument may go on. People will not be one less soldier man and then a power, them be one less soldier man and go. So people will not be the look at that line of thought there at all when they talk about peace before election or election before peace. This not been the binary question we been at the floor. Either peace before election or elections before peace. But the people then reject the process after. They say let them hold elections now. Whoever win will help or prosecute the war. And after 3 months, the current leader, who was then a brigadier, retired now, been the military president, and he hand over power to the late Pakaba. This is why some people, and it makes a lot of sense, say the current leader is indeed the father of democracy, because I usher him in by virtue of that process of handing over from one institution, when a military, to a civilian institution which is charged with the responsibility of running the state. By default, make him the father of democracy, where most people know like forget that name there, and that's another argument for a different day. So anyway, all of this now prelude to Bintumani 3, we then talk about recently. But I talk about, whilst Bintumani 3, the issue of peace is so necessary because, again, once more, the country is so tense, the political landscape is so narrow, it just narrow every day. And it don't become so toxic, the atmosphere, that indeed there is a necessity for Bintumani 3. But whilst with time they go on, the issue of peace conflict resolution, they become very, very complex because new issues then they rise up along the wayside. But the question here is, was Bintumani doomed to fail? Was it intentional that it was doomed, it was proposed only for it to fail? And there's a school of thought out there which is saying that the verdict on this particular Bintumani 3 was a setup so that it will fail, because they knew that it will fail. Because if you don't put the process in place, you're like a kind of a roadmap, apply the process in terms of peace. You get for do diplomacy, you get for do shuttle diplomacy here and there. Meet the leaders them, meet the aggrieved parties them. But say the climate not right, and you not do your assignment. Okay? You not do your assignment, and then you decide for call for this peace conference. Oh, come on. You not do your assignment, and you decide for call for this peace conference. And that in itself is unfair. Because what you should have done, the process of peace, the characteristics that we involve, but just looking at a few cases the way we know, we can easily say that this wasn't going to work. Typical example, you get aggrieved parliamentarians of the opposition party who are in court right now, fighting to keep their jobs as MPs in a court. That's not been resolved. And many, many, many other things that will not just they go well. People have been sacked from their jobs. They don't have jobs. No, some of them, no proper explanation has been given to them. Look at the people in Lunge, the stakeholders, the sons of the soil, who brings happiness to the place itself, because we've been reaping that place for so long that the only thing which is there as the livelihood of the people is the airport, which God bless them with, because the ferry is almost non-existent. It's been hijacked by private ferries, that if you have $40, you can enjoy the comfort. How many people can afford $40? So the vast majority of people will have to deal with the public ferry instead of the private ones, and the public ferries are almost non-existent. So inconvenient for ride. So the only thing that the people of Lunge had, okay, was the ferry. That's the only thing that they had, or that they have, that they've been benefiting from. I'm sorry about the background noise. So the airport, through these many years, has provided them a livelihood. It's provided them a job. Out of that job, they are able, of course, to function as responsible citizens of the state, either build properties of their own, rent properties, pay their taxes, and money is flowing around this little town in Potloko called Lunge, which is harboring the airport. Now, one by one, the heads of the departments, the various departments, with the recent one being Mr. Bono, I think Bondo Sise, who was the admin head, that head has rolled as well, is gone, along with previous ones. So all of these issues, they are at stake at the moment. And we can easily say it appears as if there is no unity, there is no cohesion. Where are the state actors? Did you consult with them? Look at the issue of the ex-president, instead of the way Tranga happy with the way they treat him in terms of in political, in security detail. And then you are calling for a peace conference without doing your assignment. First of all, where is the roadmap? Where is the atmosphere? Where is the climate for you let you call? A long time ago, that's a long time ago, at least you can point to people, a number of people who were neutral, that in instances of this nature, you can count on them for say, well, these people could be the interlocutors, the peace brokers, the middlemen. Because why? They are free, they are not tainted. They can cast the first stone like the Bible. What Jesus say, anybody will feel say clean enough, let cast the first stone. I think there be one stone, one woman for prostitution in the Bible. Same thing. You will have had people then that will throw stones because they knew themselves. They were men of integrity, uprightness, principled people. But not anymore. Not anymore. And this gone election just proved all of that. Okay? It just proved all of that. Those in governance, those in those entities, that are parading around, the interreligious community, they are all sort of, stained because either they've expressed allegiance here or there. So first, you could call on a bishop because all he did, his job was to open the Bible and pray for the flocks, not swearing them, pray for them. Come unto me, all ye that are heavy laden, for I will give you rest. For in my Father's house there are many mansions, many doors. Knock and it shall be open. They not drive you away. They not swear you, say, well, go perish. No, it is the duty, to mend people, where people increase, and can go to Christian and go give them medicine. This is about state cohesion. So we don't have those players any longer for create that atmosphere there where both sides go trust. In other words, a status agreement. Say, well, we trust this broker, this is not good broker of peace, the interreligious council, the Muslim council, the Christian council. No. The few honest voices where they really speak, at least one of them I can mention. Now, Mrs. Marcella Sambasi say, we come under fire this BNTM simply for saying nothing but the truth. You are now being bastardized, here only for speaking up and saying nothing but the truth. So it's like this program being doomed for fail. And according to one school of thought, like I say, it was meant to fail so that fingers, because it's like obvious. Now, the formula is clear that if you set them up now, the aggrieved parties will never come to the table and you can easily point fingers to them. I'm being hypothetical now. You can easily point finger to them and say, well, you see, call on the Sierra Leonean people. Here we go. We are trying to organize peace, but then these people don't want peace. And this is what they are doing, not knowing that it was already set up or doomed to fail. Absolutely. So peace, reconciliation can be specific to certain moments then when the atmosphere is right, when the characters they're ready, when the atmosphere not toxic, when the players them, the interlocutors them are honest brokers. So both sides can trust. But there is an issue of trust now. There is an issue of trust. So the bad blood there between the two sides. So we should be talking about law and not hearsay, not market talk, not small talk. We should rise up above the challenge. As a nation, we should fall together and rise together. We should be able to support a government that is being elected by the people, regardless of which tribe you belong to. Be you rainbow, be you red, be you green. If it's green in power, support green while they are in power. You can critique them, of course, but support them. Give them the hand so that they can succeed. Giving them the hand so they can succeed is a duty. Because then an entire nation benefits. But because you feel insecure, you are in fear that if you support and they are scoring political points and making progress, then you will not be voted in power. And as such, you get this archaic thinking that if I not support, then nothing happens. Then the people themselves are fools because they not go see through saying that because somebody hinder the progress, so therefore we will not do nothing. So when election reach again, we vote on out of power. Then the same thing again with the other people in Canada power, the other people and do the same thing to them. And the country is left standing by idly, making no progress, yet people and they continue for swim, if possible, from Africa to the Mediterranean, for can Europe, for can do some nasty, dirty work. Instead of the leaders, them, rise up and, join hands together and let we lift ourselves up and become, the kind of people we are, the kind of countries, that we say we own, blessed with natural resources, and we dare say that we will struggle, will not get fit in hospital and fit in, your livelihood, that we get for struggle with people that have to struggle day in and day out just for basic survival, bread and butter. Then instead of the situation getting better, it's just getting worse, which brings me to my final point. In terms of humanity, we don't apparently fail because they not set up the atmosphere correctly. They need to go back now the drawing board. But who are going to be the interlocutors? Do we bring in foreigners there again, just like I will bring foreigners then? Because the reason why Mother Bill bring foreigners then for can't do COI, the Commission of Inquiry, and now it's distasteful for say, but the fact is there is no trust. There is no trust. Like it or not, there are trying times ahead for our country, Sierra Leoneans, as Ayatollah Anes Koroma continues to grapple with how he can regularly remain in the news headlines and keep grip of the party. The troubled time is already here. We are going through it, and it's not even new. Sometimes you only need to look back, just reflect, just retrospect where we come from and where we've come. How much, mile have we covered? We take one step forward, we take two steps backward. Imagine that if that's the real process, if that's a formula, which means now retrogress, you retrogress. You're making no progress at all. And this seems to be the situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we get a sacred duty for criticize. You can be partisan, of course. There has to be a sense of belonging. You have to cling on to something. But clinging on to something does not mean that you have to allow this something to take you over the cliff. Then you will be an idiot, you will be a fool. For raise your voice and ask question means that you try for rectify things, you try for put things in place. That tells you that you've got a critical mind. That's all it means. Stop making judgments which are not based on fact. And stop rushing to judgment. Judge I not. Listen to what I say. Try for absorb them. You can trash them, you can throw them. You may not agree with me. Okay, it's your right to do so. You get your opinion. I've got mine. But certainly, what we don't have a right to is our set of facts. So bring the fact on the table. Bring the evidence on the table. Bring the references. This is the point where I always come from. If we not rise up now for let we help we leader them, then we are going nowhere. We need that independent mind. I always say that. And when I talk about independent, I know they talk about individual. They talk about a movement. Because let's face it, it's going to be hard to get rid of these two parties. It's not impossible, but because we look at things all time from the short run, therefore, we are not heading anywhere. We still try to make NGC the most relevant party in terms of the third force, where themselves don't fail we. You could hardly talk about them in parliament. Dr. Kande get the clout and the passion I talked about on last week, na me broadcast, the passion where been come with, where they talk overzealously and so in vain the team up. So, say this get passion. And I ask, where is that passion now whilst you are in parliament? Where is that passion? There's not much to lose, Dr. Kande. You could make a name day for yourself. And then they say you have to be recalcitrant or not receptive of the government in proposal them. But I mean, if they're not reasonable, then you need for speak up. We need for see you more and more. And I also said or say that the politicians, them, they all don't disappear. They all don't melt away. Whilst the people go about their daily business, they struggle for make ends meet. But in the next 2 years, 3 years, close to election time, you will see all kinds of shade of politician Some of them where you know, some of them where you know one day know. All they aspire for going inside that one green building day, we get one green seat where you can sit on. With no principles, no morals, no ideologies, no concrete policies, but if I can't lie again to the people, hey, people, beware. And I can equally say to the politicians, then, the people are becoming aware almost on a daily basis. The results of the last elections, I mean, the demographics, it explains a lot. It explains a lot. The people have moved, not time, the people have moved. We need for then a connection, come together as a people, criticize when necessary, begin for form movement. It can be a think tank, it can be a pressure group, but it need for be powerful, it need for be effective. And there are many of us, many of us, we can do this. We just need for put the partisanship aside when it's not necessary. And at this time, it looked like a critical time again back now. With all them, there is a phase now in history where just critical, where the sanctity of the state, the very structure, the fabric of the state is threatened. And this particular time is one time as well. I'm not preaching all doom and gloom. There is reason to be optimistic. But where are we heading? Is it time, for a redirection? We shouldn't feel too big to say, okay, we need to do a redirection. We shouldn't feel too big, for go and sit down at the drawing table and say, look, we need for redraw this thing. I mean, it's not working. Or we need for calibrate so, we need for do so, we need for do that. There's nothing wrong. Men of uprightness have done this. Men of peace, men of God, they've done this. Now in the human soul, you always the search and the think. Now Emek is critical, you should have a critical mind. And God bless some of us who came to school, here in the Western world. If anything that they've taught us, which most people not grapple with yet, is the ability to think, the ability to be critical, which some of us they use to the farthest. Because we feel, say, it's time for us to speak up. And when we speak not out of malice, abhor no malice against any politician. It is my country that matters. When I speak for my country and my country alone. If na push get for delivery, let we get push. Let we get push. It can be politics, it don't become something like a revolving door. Alusign, Alasan, Alasign, Alusign. Something need for change. I know some of us not get faith because it's like, a third force won't work. No. I believe it can work. No matter of time. But because we short-sighted and we want things in the now, we're not lay things there in place. We've been to go with this false dichotomy about NGC. That was false. That was false. It was never a third force, as in the essence and the principle and the context which they try for tell we. Now, been just a quick protest thing, where Dr. Kande will join inside 3 months. And then people then they expect some magic for happen. Magic then can happen, but tomorrow only belongs to people who are prepared today. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough for today. Will not forget we say, be thy brother's keeper. Let we left, pettiness, selfishness, and pull down. Where necessary for let we support, please let's support. Politics can be toxic. Politics can be local, politics can be dirty. Of course, it's not clean, okay? But we need for raise we game. For in so doing, the only way how we're able to go forward and boast of things in we absence. When I say in we absence, long after we don't transition to the great beyond, then we go with peace because we know say the end, we left with picking them. And we picking them. Will come and not get for dinner, then country there with the under humiliation. Simply because you get from hand to mouth, where in the end there's no bank balance. And you will do it until you get old and then you drop dead. And the story, that's the end of the story. Time in and time out. Remember, always when you come, you say, na hustle, you can't hustle, you can't look for something. We all can forget and it's like say, we always they go back. Imagine how many hundreds of thousands of us have come over the decades and decades. Say, when I hustle, I can hustle. As I get 150,000, 100,000, I don't go. You forget, say, you get for pay tax inside that money, you get for pay rent inside that money, you get for pay water bill, you get for pay. But of course, we not be understand this. So by the time you don't do all of that, the money don't go. There's nothing to be saved. Or if you be the save self, or let you save a significant sum, it take you like years before you look year on a year don't white. You don't marry, you don't get picking there, you get for raise them. Now don't so. End of story. There you get calls, then they come off return. Oh, send this, send that, send this, send that. You really cannot help it because it's pathetic. How do we change that? That should be the question. And the question now left now with this net. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching the Then and Now. Let's stay together in peace. I love you all. God bless the country. Thank you and good night. Happy Monday. Looking for me. All right, family, on a good night. Thank you for listening. God bless all, man.